What's up, and welcome to episode 300 of First Geek 411. Numbers are hard, everyone. I am so excited to be here tonight on surprise episode 300. I definitely did not realize that prior to doing the show notes. But with me along this journey all the way from West Coast, Best Coast is Emma. How are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here for surprise episode 300.
Yeah. My name's Cameron. I'll be your host. And yeah, we've never like specifically done anything for like the big numbered episodes. We tend to do like end of year episodes, um, and like beginning of year stuff rather than like specific like numerical things. But then they always just so like because of that, the numbers always sneak up on me. Like I'm just not like super closely paying attention. Veroth in chat says, I'm looking forward to a carefully curated 300 episode festivities. Like, I would love to
Mhm.
do a clip show, but I'm definitely not doing that. And I'm not going to ask
If
Emma
I
to do
had
that
all
as
of
a
the
side
raw
project.
files and a
Yeah.
month, I would do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the
But
challenge
getting the raw
is with
files
us.
alone would
Yeah.
mean a month of work itself. So give me
Yes.
2 months and then I will
Yeah.
do a clip show for you guys.
Yeah. The fact that like all of our videos basically only live online, like I don't like locally record, basically makes all of that a huge pain.
Yeah.
And like since like this is hobby, like I've basically like streamlined my process to have as little like locally as possible because that just adds so much more work. And I'm preaching to the choir because so much more work for me was like 5 more minutes and then a 4 hour processing time or whatever, let alone
Yeah.
whatever you go through to actually do this for a living. And so we're just
There's a
trying to keep
reason I
it.
get paid to work
Yes.
on this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it is time consuming. I have spent hours, weeks just getting the raw material just to do that
Yeah.
thing. So,
Yeah. That's the part that's crazy to me. Just like the amount of like background work that goes into every little thing. Like I think I feel it so much for like vloggers where it's like, oh, you record so much and like
yeah,
cut it all like you cut down a weekend worth of content into 30 minutes and it's just
yep,
like, man, that's a lot of footage to go
yeah.
through to then like tell a story that is 30 minutes. Like,
And it's a lot of decisions too. Like,
yeah.
it's not just super clear and cut paste.
Yeah. As we go off on this journey for episode 300, we're gonna be chatting what we have been up to this past couple weeks. We both have some pretty cool stuff that we have been up to and or will be up to soon because we also both have a future thing on there as
Yep.
well. And then we also will be chatting Firefly, Dropout, Sony testing dynamic prices, and some of the big releases with Slay the Spire 2 hitting early access and Marathon releasing. Before we get into that journey, you can find us around the internet as OneGeek411. Catch us live Monday nights around 7:30 Central Time. You can find us live on Twitch and YouTube, and then you can find all of our VODs over on YouTube. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, check all of that out. Also on YouTube, you can find our Daggerheart Actual Play podcast, Until Winter's End. We are, think, close to wrapping up Tier 3 and getting ready for Tier 4. And so I'm very excited for us to have some crazy cool stuff coming up as we hopefully wrap this up soonish and then start
You make
getting
the
ready
calls,
for our next
bro.
game. I
We're just
know, here
along
we
for the
are.
ride.
Yeah, we're doing our best. And so, and then we haven't had one in a bit, but you can also check out book clubs and spoiler casts over on YouTube for that content. And then I don't think I said this, but you can also check us out on our Discord server. We hang out there during the week, talking all sorts of geeky things. But let's chat what we have been up to. Emma, why don't you kick us off? What have you been up to this past
Yeah.
couple weeks?
Let's see. I've been, in terms of video games, I'm still playing Control. I'm in the
Yes.
last, I want to say I'm in the last third. of the game, roughly. It's kind of hard to gauge, but that's my guess. In part because I've officially met the brother who is like
Okay.
great. He's the great kind of something's wrong with you, very clearly
Oh
wrong
yeah.
with you, and you're a little insane, respectfully, but you're the fun kind of insane. Um, and that's been a lot of fun. Slow going because I've been all over the place the past couple of months, but still playing that. Definitely getting to finish that in the next month and a half or so. I'm also still playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I'm in the end game for that as well, 5 years
Nice.
later,
Yeah. Right.
which is a big testament to how big that game is because I have sunk
Hmm.
easily 140 hours into that game, and I'm still like, I'm just now getting to end game stuff for that. So like,
Yep. And
I go ahead.
I know you were posting some stuff about this. Have you played Mirage, or are you
I
planning
have
to play
played
Mirage?
the first half of it. I was just
Okay.
gonna comment on this
I
of
was about
like,
because I know, because like I said, I know it was when I was busy with my stuff that I'll talk about, but like I saw some back and forth on it, so I didn't have time to
yeah,
like be part of the conversation in the Discord. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it's definitely like I played the first half of Mirage before I got to this story beat in Valhalla, so I was pretty
Mhm.
neutral on Bassam. I'm doing spoiler alert. I'll keep it as spoiler free as possible, but also Valhalla's been out for 5 years at this
Yeah,
point.
spoiler alert for a game that from 2020 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
So skip forward however long. Um, so like I was pretty neutral on Bassam in general, in both games. And then I just hit this story beat in Valhalla where he ends up not being the nicest dude out there, and now I don't like him anymore. And the PR in Mirage is not
yeah,
gonna make me like him anymore than I already dislike him. So that's that. Um, but it is fun to see that there is at least a different perspective of how he got his start. Um,
yeah.
so
I jumping in here have been streaming a little bit of Mirage over on Karen plus Deanna. It was my like I don't there's nothing else I specifically want to play, and I did like have the itch to play an Assassin's Creed.
yeah,
And having like I finished Valhalla um probably within the first year of it being out because like you said it's such a giant game, but like that was my big like launch game was Valhalla.
yeah, yeah.
And there's so much there, and I think I say this in one of the streams, but man, that game did not leave me wanting more Bassam,
No,
like in
absolutely not.
specific.
No.
And so, as someone who I'm probably 6 hours into Mirage, I am finding it so hard to care about because I just do
Yeah,
not care about
yeah,
Bassam.
yeah. I mean, I had no context for his character in terms of that side of things going into Mirage because I hadn't gotten to that in Valhalla yet. But even then, like Mirage is a considerably smaller game in comparison to
Mm-hmm.
Valhalla. It's much more streamlined. It's like
Yeah.
maybe 20 hours of gameplay, roughly. And even then, I was like, I don't have any reason to like this character. Like, and now I'm like, oh, I understand why I don't have any reason to like this
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to like him.
Yeah. It's
So,
super hard with him in
yeah,
specific.
yeah. And it's like the whole plot point is like very specific and hard to explain, especially coming
In
from the standpoint of
yeah.
I am someone whose first proper Assassin's Creed game is Valhalla, so I have no fundamental grasp on the real world lore of Assassin's Creed outside of I know that we are, 21st century scientists projecting our minds into historical events. That is
Yep.
all I understand. And then suddenly I am a Viking walking into a giant, very futuristic temple looking thing that, like, then does the exact same thing where it takes my Viking character and projects it into an AI whatever.
Yeah,
And
sure
it's
is
like,
crazy.
okay, what is going on? Anyway, um, that's a whole nother conversation for another time.
Oh, for real.
Um, one
In
day.
chat, Sneaky says, every once in a while I think about finishing Valhalla and I can't psych myself to do it. I
Yeah,
love the story of Valhalla. I think it is
yeah,
super cool and it's super well done. It's probably one of my favorite, like, narrative Assassin's Creed stories. It's just, man, the slog to get through it, as like you're saying,
yeah,
of like
yeah,
entering the post game at like 140 hours. There's just like
yeah,
so much. Like, I'm in a boat kind of like Sneaky where I'd love to go get the platinum because I'm not that far,
yeah.
but I think there's like a set of enemies that like roam around and you have to kill all of them for the platinum. And
Yeah.
it's just like there's literally no way to find them. They literally are just kind of like, this character roams roughly these areas and it's like a quarter of the
Hmm.
map. Good luck. You
Yeah.
kind of just have to like hang out until they show up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's literally the game that I put on and play when I'm bored of absolutely everything else that I've been playing. And I'm like, well, I don't want to play this because I've played a lot of that recently. I don't want to play that because I'm stuck at this boss fight and I don't want to deal with that. I guess I'll play some Assassin's Creed Valhalla because that's the only mildly interesting thing that sounds fun right now, which is why it's taken me 5 years because it is so big that I'm like, that sounds like a lot to tackle, but I'm bored of absolutely everything else, so I might as well play that. Um, so that's why it's taken so long. Um, but yeah, that's been happening. I recently got a new Magic the Gathering deck. It is a
ooh,
pirate deck. It's pre-built. I haven't played it yet, but I'm excited to play it because this is the second like proper deck that I have. Someone a long time ago gave me one of their handoff like spare decks.
mm-hmm.
Um, I don't remember anything that's in it or what theme it is or anything, so I just haven't touched it because it was also when I was very new to Magic. So technically I have three decks, but one of them is like I would have to spend an hour looking through this to understand what's going on with it and if it's all there. But I have a new pirate deck and I'm excited to play it. A lot of my people play on Tuesdays before going to Cantrip, and I don't usually play them because that's like trying to do too much in one day,
Mm-hmm.
which is unfortunate, but it is like I don't want to come home from work, turn around, go to Magic, and then go straight from Magic to playing D&D. Because that's a lot back to back to back. My little introverted heart could not handle all of that.
So, yes.
I love
Again,
those
this is a
people.
classic example of introvert versus extrovert because I'm
Yeah,
just like, that sounds
Cameron's like, that
amazing.
sounds great. And
Like, I
I'm
don't
like,
see the
oh
problem.
dear, no. I need my 2 hours of rest and relaxation before I go socializing again. Um, I need my me time.
Yeah. In
Um,
chat, Vroth asks, is it Admiral Brass?
I don't think so. I would have to, it's over there quite a ways across the room.
Okay.
So I'd have to go grab it, but I don't think so. Um,
We can talk in post show.
that's yeah. I'll go grab it in post show and show it off. But it's a lot of fun. I went to like a very chill tournament thing with some friends a couple weeks ago, and I decided I didn't want to play in the tournament because I just wanted to hang out and like I hadn't played in a while, so I wasn't like I needed to brush up on things. And they gave me a lot of good advice for getting a second deck. So I got that and sleeved all the cards, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I am also in my free time building a D&D one shot for my
Ooh.
friends. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's inspired by the lore of a band that I listen to, which sounds a little weird, but the lore actually lends very well to a D&D one shot. So basically, it's all of the adventurers wake up in a set of ruins and like they don't know each other and they have to go collect three different artifacts and return them to this cloudy, mysterious figure standing in front of and guarding a door in order to then leave the ruins. And when they do, the door opens to a gray beach. It's one of those scenarios of like, there shouldn't be a beach on the other side of these doors, but there is. And then they walk through and they all wake up and realize it was a dream. And that's the one shot, but I'm currently building the map for it and it's a lot of fun. And I'm having a good time making it. So that's something I'm doing in my free time. I am excited to use giant centaur spiders that are just centaurs that are spiders instead of horses, um, because those are cool and they fit the theme well. And yeah. And then this coming Friday, I am doing a PowerPoint party with friends, and that's fun and exciting. This is something we've talked about doing in the
Mm-hmm.
past. Um,
Everyone's
I
talking about
am
doing
not
something
doing a
like here.
I am not doing a Gallifrey PowerPoint because I'm
Okay.
saving that for First Geek.
Love it.
That has been set aside and reserved for First Geek. Um, the prompt for this one was basically just it has to be something funny. Um, so my PowerPoint is essentially an argument that the host of this party is cool. I am putting on the PowerPoint that's just I'm telling you that Dan is cool, and here's all the reasons why he's cool. Um, some of the facts wildly incorrect. Some of the
Wildly.
facts. One of the running jokes within this group of friends. There's like six different people from New Jersey. He is one of them. So I first say he's from one part of New Jersey. Wait, that's wrong. That's where Bobby is from. He's actually from over here. Wait, no, that's where Sierra's from. I take like three different attempts to like figure out where Dan is from as a bit of a joke. Anyway, this whole PowerPoint is just reasons why Dan is cool because I couldn't think of anything else as my topic. So I'm just going, here's the PowerPoint on why the host of the party is cool, and I'm actually making it funny. Um, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And that's what I'm doing on Friday.
Nice.
And that's my life.
Awesome stuff. I'm excited. I am excited to, as you referenced, for us to eventually do a PowerPoint party. Um, it's the like I want us to do have more of a group to do it, and then like the problem is the presentation,
Yep.
like making it work to where, from like a Twitch standpoint, all of us are visible and the PowerPoint is easily read. Like that's the problem.
Yep.
Like Shanine and I
Yep.
kind of ran into this with when we did our all Taylor Swift songs ranked, or Taylor Swift albums ranked, I guess technically. When we did that, like, we kind of ran into the problem of just like it was very hard to see PowerPoint stuff and have us in like a scene that made sense. Similarly, like we
Yep.
run into a similar problem with Daggerheart where there's so many of us. So like whenever we do screen share, it's always a pain because then it makes us really small since we're using Discord to share the screen instead of like having me bring in the capture, because if I bring in the capture, it brings in my side of stuff, which reveals things and stuff like that. And
Yep.
so, um, yeah, I am excited for us to eventually do one. And I just need to sort out the logistics on like my side of like what I need done to make that scene work. And then we'll figure it out from there. But I'm excited to hear how it goes. On my end, I have a handful of things. First, the future thing. On Friday, I will be playing in a D&D one-shot run by Varoth, and so I'm very excited for that. I have literally no clue what character I'm playing. I know nothing yet. I have not had the bandwidth to like think about the specifics of it. So that's my responsibility to figure out before Friday so that I can be aware of what's happening. I'll probably end up playing some sort of martial character because there's a few like ideas that I want to mess around with, and so we'll see. Because I love the like sneak attack rogue, but with long range weapons instead of up
Hmm.
close. I love that style character. And I think there's like party logistics with playing them in an actual campaign, because like typically you want your rogue to be towards the front so that they can look for traps and stuff like that.
Hmm.
They can be like, but like that doesn't work if you're a long range rogue. But it works
Yeah.
fine for a one shot where you're just more worried about like the silliness and the fun of it. So we'll see. I have, again, I've not like looked into stuff. I've not like really thought through anything, and so um, we'll figure all of that out. And then I have started playing Slime Rancher 2. So I love that you are playing Control, which is a game that I love, and then I am playing Slime Rancher 2, which is a game that you love. And so
Yes.
it
That's one of my
is,
space out, just need to not
yeah.
make any decisions whatsoever kind of games.
Yeah, I should have been audiobooking while I was playing. Um but I haven't been doing that. And so, but I am enjoying it. I have unlocked the two areas after the first area. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that. And then I just unlocked the jetpack.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I was not digging this game until I got the jetpack.
It's a lot more fun
Just,
with a jetpack.
yeah, like the amount of freedom that gives you access to, where like I kind of felt like I was like, well, I am walking through these corridors. Look,
Yep.
there are slimes in this corridor. Um,
Wow, imagine that.
yeah. Now that I have the jetpack, I feel like that opens up a lot. And then I'm working towards, like, you have the stuff that like helps you with collection side of things.
Hmm.
That like the stuff that's like, oh, you can use this to send resources back to your refinery. You can use this to do these things. Like that's
Yep.
one of my next big things, is to get those up and running so that
I
I can
use a lot
start
of
like,
those. Those
yeah.
make life a lot easier, especially when you like figure out spots on the map where it's useful to
Mm-hmm.
have them. Because each
Yeah.
location, the way I play it, each location has at least, right, like each island has at least one of both like the research link and the like this just like general storage link,
Mm-hmm.
preferably two, one on either end of the map.
Yeah.
But having at least one on each island, I've found saves me a lot of time and grief.
Yeah. And like I've been working up to that, and like I just need to like get the last bit of resources. I think I finally have all of the stuff discovered. I just now need
Yeah.
to get enough to like start making them in a way that's not tanking my like equipment upgrades. Like I just unlocked the 5th inventory slot, and
Yeah.
like I've been upping the amount that I can carry in each slot and stuff like that, which has made it
Hmm.
like, again, has made it a lot better, just having being able to go on like basically like longer runs. Because right now I'm kind of
Yep.
playing it almost like a roguelike, where
Yep.
like it's going out on this run, I'm getting these resources, I'm bringing them back, then I'm going on
Yep.
another one, I'm getting these resources, I'm bringing it back.
Yep.
Um and so once I get access to those other things, where it's like, okay, cool, well, I need to keep these slimes in my inventory so that I can set up an enclosure for them when I get back, but this radiant ore I can just send back to the refinery. And so
Yep.
that'll make things a lot simpler, to just have access to more stuff. So
Hmm.
more on that to come, unless something else drops on PlayStation Plus, since currently PlayStation Plus has been my deciding factor for what games I'm playing in
Yeah.
2026. So
Rightfully
since I
so.
do not, yeah. And so next up today, or I guess I'll do this weekend. I went down to Houston with my team for a Lorcana tournament. And so it was a lot of fun. It was just over 100 people, I believe 201. And so it was a CCS, which is Charlie's collectible show, 25K. And so it was very cool, very fun. We all like got a suite at a hotel, and then that was where like the 5 of us like were able to rest. And then we went to the tournament during the day. We went and had dinner and stuff like that. I did meh. Um, I
You were
had,
middle of the pack.
yeah, I ended up 70th out of 201, which like on paper I'm like happy with, but like in terms of my actual play, I was not. Um,
Yeah.
and so I had a very rough start to the tournament. And then I had made some deck choices anticipating other decks to be a bigger deal, and then I never played the decks that were a bigger deal. And so
Mm.
I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I basically woefully misjudged the meta and then got
Mm-hmm.
punished for it, like in like the first 3 rounds of the tournament. And so then I spent the rest of the tournament trying to recover.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
It's rough out
And
there.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like again, like finishing 70th, I'm like, again, on paper I'm happy with. I ended positive, but yeah, it was very much a struggle there. Um, and yeah, it was a great time with friends. Ended up doing a sealed on day 2, since I did not make top cut, obviously, and so I did a sealed. So we cracked open a box. We found a random person who I think was like the partner of one of the judges, and so she came and joined us, and so we did like a
Amazing.
4-person sealed. And so I ended up winning that. So that was cool. I don't know if y'all can see it. I got up this way. Nope, nope, nope. I got this enchanted as my prize for winning. So that
Nice.
was really cool. Um, and then, yeah, it was like I said, it was a lot of fun. I'm really happy to have gone. Deanna did really well. She actually landed top 60. So
Nice.
she landed in 57th. And so
Good for
that was
her.
really cool. It was her first big tournament. And so that was really good. And then, yeah, like I said, I ended up in 70th. It's funny to look at the standings because there's like a cluster of all the people that I lost to that are just like 1 or 2 points ahead of me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, y'all beat me and you couldn't even have like done like better of
Yeah.
like, because like that would have bumped up my ranking had they done better. And so,
Yep.
but um, yeah, it was like I said, it was just like a really weird tournament that I basically got punished for the whole time. I don't want to go into too much just because it's like super nerdy and nitty gritty type stuff, which we are first Geek
Yeah.
411. But like, um, yeah, and so it was. I would just not do it again. There's another tournament later in the year I'm considering going to. So we'll see if that happens. There's also an out of state one that I'm hopefully going to go to, and so we're going to kind of just see how the vibes take us. And so, um, yeah, but because of that, we got back late-ish last night, and we weren't exactly sure what time we would get back. Like we had some friends that got back at like 1 in the morning, and so
Oof.
because of that, took the day off today. And I was telling Emma like my sense of time is so messed up because of that. Like not only was like my weekend basically just Lorcana and car, um, it was then like having today off. So like sleeping in a little bit, and then we went and saw a matinee of Hoppers, which is the latest Pixar film, um, about a young girl who's trying to save this glade from being turned into a highway. And so she's trying to like save the animals and do all of this stuff. And it's super cute. I would definitely recommend it. The story is, I'm not going to say surprising, like in the sense of like the big plot beats are not, they're exactly what you would think in a story about
Yeah.
a like a young adult trying to save a glade. Like
Yeah.
but the way that it gets to those points is super fun because the premise of this in the ultra horrifying don't think about it kind of way is that the scientist has figured out how to transfer someone's consciousness into a like lifelike animatronic robot. And
Yeah.
so um the main character is using this to try to convince animals to come back to the glade and like trying to save the animals with this. And
My
um
favorite joke on that point from the trailers is that they compare them that whole plot point to Avatar.
yes.
And the scientist is just like, it's not like Avatar. And I'm like, at least they're self-aware about
Yes.
this plot point and they put a joke in about it. Like, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are some like legitimately laugh out loud funny jokes. So like it was much more entertaining than I was expecting. And it's like dumb goofy in the best possible way. And then
Yeah.
like there are some really good heartfelt moments. Like and then it definitely like well it's focused on land animals. Like there's definitely some Emma vibes in this movie of like
Yeah.
like this is definitely a movie that is like right up your alley. And so
Oh, I'm sure if I were a 10-year-old today, I would be so into it. I haven't seen it
yeah.
yet, but it would be what I would be begging to go see in theaters.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely recommend checking it out at least when it hits Disney Plus or something because, like I said, I do think you will really like it. Um,
Absolutely.
and so, um, yeah, definitely recommend. It's probably one of my favorite Pixar movies in a long time. I would have to look at the actual like release schedule of Pixar movies to
Yeah.
actually confirm that. Maybe we can do that in post show. But yeah, I definitely would recommend. It was a great viewing, and so. But let's jump into the news. We got 4 topics today. Emma, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna do the quick one first. Because it's mostly just a funny haha. Dropout has started a 24/7 channel. In other words, you just click on it, and essentially what they're doing is streaming all of their content end to end. Um, just because they can. And when they
Mm-hmm.
announced it, one of their big selling points was that we're just trying to help you combat choice paralysis. Um, and it's just an amazing streamer decision of just like, yeah, there's a lot of things on our channel. Fortunately, or on our site, fortunately, all of it is comedy stuff. We're just gonna give
Yeah.
you a 24/7 live streaming option. Whatever's on is on, and you can just click on it and play it in the background. And I think that's amazing
Yeah.
because there are a lot of people, myself included, within their audience base who like to have background noise on while they're like doing chores or whatever, but they don't want to spend 20 minutes sitting there trying to decide what to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I know most times when I'm in the mood for something on Dropout, it's typically just, oh, I want to watch something Dropout related.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but I want to watch something Dropout. And then I go on and see what's come out recently, and then I'll pick that and put it on. So I just think it's fun that they implemented a 24/7 channel. That's what they call it. It's just a live stream of all of their content because they have all of the Dimension 20 seasons, and one 6-episode season alone is like, what is math? 80 hours of content, maybe. At least, roughly. Um, so that's like they can go end to end for
Mm-hmm.
a long time without any content repeats. And I think that's pretty fun. So in case you were on the fence about getting Dropout before, I would highly recommend it now because it's fun, it's good, you're supporting good artists, and I think that's cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other more important piece of news that I have is that Nathan Fillion has been posting teaser videos hinting at a Firefly announcement. Each of them have featured him knocking on the doors of trailers, etc., of his co-stars from the show. Um, sorry. And we don't know what the announcement is as of yet. We just know that he's been getting the gang back together, so to speak. And it's very exciting because it's like clearly something is happening, whether it's a reunion, whether it's a reboot, we don't know. But a lot of us are hoping for some kind of new scripted material in this universe. Um, and
Yeah.
let's see. Do, 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 do.
This
Yes,
was
I
something that
know
I had
what
heard
saying.
about in like passing from other people as someone who like
Hmm.
I never watched like more than like I've seen the movie and then I've seen like maybe 1 or 2 episodes of Firefly. And so as someone who hasn't seen a ton, like that's not really like one of my touch points, but it's funny. It was funny hearing people talk about this and then seeing
Yeah,
it in the show notes today.
yeah. It's okay. So we're gonna get an announcement Sunday, March 15th. So a week from yesterday, if my math is correct.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Firefly, big foundational show in nerd spaces for anyone who grew up in the past 25 years, just in terms of like, even if you haven't watched it, you know of it. And like, it was Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon?
Mm-hmm.
I
I
think
think
so.
so.
Um, and like a lot of those people, like it spurred on a lot of nerd spaces and fandom. So it is like a impactful show. Um, so it's just I'm very uh curious to see what comes out of it. I think I've watched the show through once, the show and the movie once, and then like watched bits and pieces of it here and there. So like I'm kind of with you in the sense of like I've seen it, but it's not in my like top 8
Mm-hmm.
list by any means. And like I appreciate it for what it is and it's good. It just never resonated with me personally in ways that it did with other people. But I am excited to see what comes out of it and what potentially could be announced on the 15th. So yeah, it's very exciting. Um, do heard it here first. My guess is it's a reunion of some sort. Because if a a reboot or an additional movie or something were in the works, there would have been rumors flying by now about it
Mm-hmm.
that I would have heard about. Um, at least given the corner of the world that I exist in. Um, but it would be cool if it was some kind of reboot or additional content. So
Yeah.
my guess
In
is
chat,
reunion. So
yeah. In chat, Sneaky says latest rumor I saw that it could possibly be a live or it'd be an animated series, not live action. Um, and then Sneaky
I
calls
could
out
see
that the
that.
show is on Disney Plus. I did not know that. So
That would make sense as a place for it to exist.
yeah, that's good. Could to check
So,
out. Like I've been looking for some random show to put on. Like I mean, like you talking about Dropout. Like tying this
yeah.
back to that. Of like I just like to have I like to have background noise, and so
Yeah.
for me a lot of times like there were a lot of shows that were my like second screen shows. So this was like the
Yep.
CW Flash and Supergirl and like all of those were really good.
Yep.
Even like Critical Role to a point was that for me where it was like that was
Yeah.
my like playing a video game that I didn't
Yep.
need to listen to because I was like grinding. Like that was how I
Yep.
binged like season 1 of Critical Role.
Yep. Critical
And
was
so
very much my second screen content. So,
yeah, so I'm it's a show that's so foundational that I definitely need to go watch at some point, but
yeah.
just have
It
not
is a good
actually
show to
gotten there.
like be able to say, yeah, I've seen it. Like just like watch it through once. Like I don't feel like I'm missing anything by not having watched it more than once. But at the same time, the one time I did watch it, I was like, I had a pretty good time. It was fun. It just didn't strike a chord with me in the way other shows did. I say as the person who runs the Supernatural official YouTube channel for my job. Supernatural is much more my speed. I like the spooky things. So, yeah. Unlike Cameron, who does
Yeah,
not like the spooky
definitely
things.
unlike me. And so
Absolutely not.
yeah. Um, Jumping to our next topic. Got an upsetting one here. Just kind of calling out for people so you can be aware. Apparently, Sony has been testing dynamic prices over on the PlayStation Store, basically running A/B tests where two different users would be shown like different prices for the same game, and clearly trying to just like gather data on what would work and what would sell. This is called out from IGN in their article. It says you may remember the backlash to dynamic pricing when concert ticket vendor Ticketmaster was accused of hiking the price of high demand tickets for the Oasis reunion tour, prompting investigation from the UK government and new rules to prevent the resale of tickets for live events above the original cost. Of course, the issue there was scaling up prices when demand surged, whereas Sony's testing appears to be examining the impact of discounts and customers' prior purchase history. And so, this is something that, like, I feel like on paper, the idea of, like, hey, you're a fan of this franchise, we're going to give you a bigger discount to go and play the game, like using our like earlier conversations, like, oh, we see that you have played Slime Rancher 2, Cameron. Would you like an extra 10% off Slime Rancher 1? Like, in theory, something like that feels like, oh, that would be cool. But then you end up with this like pricing fiasco where like someone's on the side and it's like, hey, why am I paying full price for this thing while this other person gets a discount? And it's like, just like, again, on paper seems fun, but then like is a very horrible experience for customers.
Yeah. Kind of uncalled for and a little bit exclusionary
Yes.
to an extent.
And then I do want to call out here, because this is something that I had not seen when I'd seen people posting about this before. So this was originally caught by PS Prices, who track the PlayStation Store prices across 50 regions. They detected an unusual structure containing experiment identifiers in the API, which is the most like techie thing of like, and the code said something happened. And so, but it seems like the games are designated with these two tags, and that it has been tested in a number of countries across Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Latin America. The tests are not being conducted in the US or Japan due to the alleged, in quotes, stricter regulation and higher market sensitivity. So, like, excuse me?
I would
Like,
think Europe, a lot of Europe would also have regulations against this kind of thing. I mean,
yeah,
I don't understand foreign politics, but I feel like Europe has been known in the past to be considerably more staunchly against this kind of thing, especially like I feel like I've heard stuff about like Ticketmaster
yeah,
pricings in this kind of behavior before.
yeah,
But
yeah. So I'm super curious to see where this goes. Hopefully, it goes away.
yeah,
And because like dynamic pricing is just such a mess. And like, I hate the thing of like, well, we can't do it in these places because it's illegal. So we'll do it in these other places. And it's just
yeah.
like, or we could not do scummy business practices.
Yeah, we could
And
just
like,
not do this at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you
I
wanted
was
to do something like this, like send a coupon code or something like
yeah,
that. Like you could
yeah.
do something that way rather than having it just be, hey, no one sees this except like you don't know if this is the A/B test or not. Like,
Yeah. I saw it's like when this news came out, because it came out relatively recently, there was a couple of jokes on like Tumblr or Instagram or whatever about how Steam would never do this to you. And in fact, Steam actively tries to give you the cheapest option possible for a game you're trying to buy. And it just made me laugh. And
yeah,
it just like I appreciate that Steam is known to both actively give you the cheapest option and like be notoriously good at getting rid of and handling scammers and hackers. And that's
Mhm.
just the foundation that they've built for themselves. So maybe be like Steam.
You know?
With the
So,
random library of like 30 games I have on Steam that I haven't touched in years,
yeah.
I would still appreciate them more for that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah. Don't have a ton else to say other than Sony, please don't. Like,
Yeah,
again, like, I feel like
don't
this
do
is not a
that.
hot take from people of just like, yeah, I would definitely rather us not have to deal with this. So, but jumping to our next topic, and overall, what I'll say is a very exciting topic, is we've gotten the release of a handful of really cool games in this past week. Or week and a half or something, and so wanted to take some time to shout them out. We are throwing Slay the Spire 2 up as our image. We're going to talk about more than just Slay the Spire, but so Slay the Spire 2 has entered early access. Have you played the original Slay the Spire, Emma?
I have not, no.
Okay.
These
So,
simulated card games are typically not my point of interest.
okay. I wasn't sure if they were. But let me tell you what, they are my point of interest.
I
and
know.
so
And
I,
I love that for you, Cameron.
yeah. So I came to Slay the Spire 2 late. It actually might have been free on PlayStation Plus, and that was how I found it. Um, Let me see if I can find. Going over to my backlog to see if I can find what lists I have it in. And so it was the original one came out in 2019, and then I played it in 2022, and so I definitely came to it late in that regard. But I really dug the first game. It's a very fun, like, hero based, like, deck builder, and so and it's a roguelike, so like as you go you're building out your deck, you're getting different cards, different abilities as you play through. It's the first game definitely falls into the category of like kind of being foundational for a lot of the things that it does, and so
Hmm.
then a lot of other games have done it better, like
Yeah.
just with it being like releasing in 2019, it's now a 7-year-old game, and so that definitely like adds to that challenge of I'm going to say freshness for lack of a better term, and but it was still a very fun game. It's something that like if you're into like board games or card games, it's like a very fun like roguelike to go and play. Broadly speaking, I don't like early access, and so I will not be like playing this until it gets its full release. I say I don't like early access. I tend to not stick with games. So like if I put a ton of time into a game in early access, I am probably not playing it when it actually releases.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of the same thing that happened to me with Hades 2, where like that game was out in
Hmm.
early access for quite a while, and I just
Hmm.
waited until the full release, and then that's when I jumped
Yeah.
in. And so I'm doing that for Slay the Spire 2. I don't believe we have any information on an actual release date, but once we get 1.0 is when I'll be looking at potentially jumping in, just because it is such a fun game and is definitely up my alley in terms of um, the genre of game. Emma, if you had to guess, saying that this game is not up your alley, what do you think the 24-hour peak player count for Slay the Spire 2 is, according to Steam DB?
750,000.
You did overshoot. It is 568,000 players. So are hopping into early access, released on the 5th, and so that's our 24-hour peak. And currently there are 232,000 players playing, like,
Huh.
that are jumping in. Like, I feel like Slay the Spire is like, it falls in that category of like indie game that are like astronomical. The two games that are higher players right now, according to SteamDB, are Counter-Strike 2 and Dota. Like, and then it's this like indie game for Slay the Spire 2.
Yeah.
And so love that for them. And so, and then for other releases, I guess last weekend we had the Marathon Server Slam. So Chunk and I went and played a bunch of that. And then this week, Marathon had its actual release or full release. And so, for people that may not know, Marathon is an extraction shooter by Bungie, the developers of original Halo as well as Destiny. And so this is their like reboot spinoff, I guess, of an old game. I never played the classic Marathon, so I don't know a ton about it, but it's like them returning to an IP that they haven't done in a long time. And so like I said, Chunk and I played this, and Emma, let me tell you, it's been a long time since I've played a competitive shooter, and wow, do I suck at them. Like, let alone one that is so reliant on like you doing well and surviving and like escaping to keep the gear that you have earned. And like the amount of runs that we had that were basically like, oh, I've spawned in. Oh, we died in 5 minutes. Cool.
This is why I don't play multiplayer shooter games. I just suck because they don't have any like rooms or space to actually learn the gameplay.
Yeah, that's definitely my big complaint here. Like, it definitely throws you in, and there were missions that were like, go find this thing. And it was like, oh, okay. And like, I don't, like, sometimes it would give you like a map marker if you were close enough. But there was a lot of times where it was like, this is in this area. Cool.
Okay.
Here we are.
Where is that area?
Like,
I don't know this map.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 attempts in, because we just keep on running into enemies and dying as we try to find this thing in this area.
Yep.
And so, or it would be something like we had one where we literally spawned in the opposite corner of the map, and then like got in a firefight on our way there, and like took out another team, and then got taken out by a second team. And it was like, well, here we are.
Yep.
And so, but overall, I will say, like, from a vibes perspective, I think like the story and like the like aesthetic of the game is super cool. You should probably pay your artists for that, especially if, you know, they're stealing art from people. Glad that got resolved in a way that all that the artist could say was beneficial for them. And so, I really liked that side of it. And I liked the gameplay itself, just not the PvP side of it. Like, if I could go in and just do this as like PvE and like kind of get the similar vibes and like missions built around this kind of stuff, I would love this game. Because I do like first person shooters. I just am not a huge PvP person. And so, but I'm excited for it. Currently, I don't always like specifically like referencing. Oh, and I actually closed the tab. Specifically referencing like Steam DB numbers, just in terms of like, I feel like some people see that as like the sign of success for a game, of like how big number go burr. But like, there are plenty of games that have a lot of problems that have high numbers, and there's plenty of games that are amazing that have low numbers. And so, but currently, Marathon's 24-hour peak is 77,000 players, which feels solid to me. It's currently like the 15th highest player count game for Steam, and of course is multi-platform. And so like there's some number of players on PlayStation as well. And so good for them. This is the type of game that falls into the like, I hope the people who like the style game are happy, because like it's so far out of my realm compared to Slay the Spire, where like this is like my jam. And so
Yep.
and then the last release that I want to talk about is Pokemon Pokopia,
Yeah.
which is a cozy style game where you are playing this horrible abomination that is a Ditto that has like transformed into what you remember of your trainer. And then like you are trying to restore this like this area to get more Pokemon to come back. And like it has cozy vibes, and like I've been watching some streams of it, and it's like you get like Squirtle, and then Squirtle teaches you Water Gun, and so then you can use Water Gun to like water the plants, and then watering the plants causes like habitats to be formed, and then like the habitats cause Bulbasaur to show up, who teaches you how to create tufts of grass. Then you can use the tufts of grass to create more habitats to attract more Pokemon. And I'm like, this looks so much fun. And I don't have a Switch 2. And so
Is it only on Switch 2? It's not on the first one?
correct. It is a Switch 2 exclusive. And so I was talking to one of my coworkers who's in my Marvel game about it. And I was like, I did not have this game being the second highest reviewed game so far this year on my bingo card.
Yeah. I don't think anyone did.
But like, I'm so happy for them, like as a studio, that I forget. Let me look up who was the actual developer, because I don't believe it was Nintendo. Something Pokopia developer, and so it's co-developed by Game Freak and Koei Tecmo's Omega Force. And so very cool for them. Again, this is the type of thing that like I'm so happy that this seems to have caught on. I love Pokemon spin-offs just because there's so much in that world. And while this is not the way that I wanted them to take these ideas, it's like close enough that I'm like, I like that y'all are doing stuff. I've said on the record that like I wish that they would do a straight up like Pal World style thing. Obviously you can't have guns, and you can't like have like the sweatshop side of stuff that game lets you do, but like
not with the franchise they've established.
Yeah. But like one of the super interesting things about like the Pokemon world is that basically there's two types of people that have Pokemon. One is three. One is trainers who battle with them. Two are people that basically have them like a house pet. And then three are effectively service animals, where like Growlithe, like the police having Growlithe is like one of the early examples where like this Pokemon is to help you do this thing.
They're working animals essentially.
Yeah, they're working. Yeah. And like you see that with other ones that like Timber, who is like a construction worker. And it's like, what does this Pokemon do? They help construct things. And
they construct.
Yeah. And so I love that we're getting to see a bit more of that with this game, where like you can assign Pokemon to like help build a house or do stuff like that. And man, I just wish it was more of the like 3D style where I'm the trainer, not I'm the Ditto. Because I would love to do that. And when we were playing a lot of Power World, I said to just Gary of like, I loved like getting to fly around and like have like pals that were mounts and stuff like that you could ride. And I was like, and I don't want to just do the Pokemon thing, but it would be so cool if this was Charizard instead of random Firebird. Like, and like I could fly around in that sense and explore the world. Um,
Yeah.
but here we are. But
Here we are.
I know Tasha's been playing this because she
Hmm.
was posting about it, and so we might have to pick her brain a little bit if we have time after
Yeah.
Daggerheart next week, and
This game
get some
very
thoughts.
much, yeah, this game very much is one of those games absolutely would have gotten into during COVID, like
Yeah.
lockdown, because I played so many hours of Animal Crossing during lockdown. Like, I, literally, I played that game many hours a day during
Hmm.
lockdown because I didn't have anything else to do. And then lockdown ended and regular life started picking up back up, and I haven't touched it basically since. Um, but Pokopia definitely would have like rocked my world basically during lockdown. But now I'm like, it's because I have a regular life. If I'm going to be playing video games, I want to play other things. But like
No.
for what it is, I think it does it okay or well just from the reviews I've seen. Like people
Hmm.
definitely seem to enjoy it, and for that I'm happy for them. So,
Yeah. Yeah. There's some pretty cool. From my understanding, some pretty cool references to like the main series and stuff like that. And there are some
yeah.
really interesting, like, if this game was canon, which, like, I'm sure it's not, but, like, if this game is canon, there's some, like, crazy implications to,
Yeah.
like, the Pokemon, like, main storyline
All
that,
of these
like,
Pokemon have insane consciousness and
yeah,
awareness for themselves.
yeah. Um, so there's some fun stuff. Like I said, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos just from streamers just because since I don't have it and don't have a Switch 2. But uh, it is on my list, and I can't believe I'm saying this. When I get a Switch 2, might be the first game that I buy. Um, and so, um, but we'll see. I'm excited for it. And again, it's another game that like I mean I say this as I'm playing Slime Rancher too, but like I don't play a ton of like cozy crafting games, but when
Yeah.
I find one that I really like, I love jumping in and like dipping my toes in that genre. And so,
Hmm.
it's been really cool to like get into Slime Rancher for that because it's like scratches some of that same itch. Um,
Yep.
and so I just definitely feel like I'm missing out, but hey, it's free and doesn't require me to buy a Switch too. So,
Yeah. I like I call them Nancy Drew games, but
mm,
they're not all Nancy Drew themed games for that reason. Like they're cozy, but they're like puzzle search games. Blueprints was kind of that, just
mm-hmm,
much more intense. But I like those Nancy Drew-esque games. Um, Gab Smulders, who streams on Twitch, plays a lot of them. But I like those kinds of games for that purpose of like, I want to sit and think real hard while also
mm-hmm,
not being super stressed out about it. So,
yeah. We'll of course be keeping an eye on more games as they release and all of that kind of stuff. I know we have Sorrows coming out soon, which is one of my big three for this year. And so I am excited for that as as like one of the three big AAA games that I'll be buying at release this year. There may be more, but like those three are the ones that like are my day ones, being Sorrows, Control 2, and Wolverine.
hmm
And so
hmm
I'm very excited to jump into that. Especially because like looking at my backlog, I've played 9 games so far this year, and I have bought 0 of them. Like they have all been PlayStation Plus or like free on Epic or whatever.
Amazing.
And so as I do my quest, and that doesn't include like marathon because like
Yeah.
which I guess I should add because I feel like I did play enough of that. I don't typically like doing demos and stuff, but I feel like I played enough of that that it can go on the list. But so 10 games so far this year, and so I am looking forward to more. Again, I am super interested to what all we're getting. I'm trying to think of like the best way to say that. What all we're getting this year, as someone who's not a GTA fan and like has no desire to get GTA 6, I am
Yeah.
so interested in like what the year is going to look like from a like someone who just likes paying attention to game news and information and stuff
Yep.
like that. It's such a
Yep.
crazy, like interesting way of jumping into it and just like, again, seeing the impact that that game is going to have on the, like the industry. And then like by extension being like, okay, well then what am I playing this year if everything's moving
Yeah.
to get out of the way of GTA? So,
Soon the new joke will be, I can't believe we got blank before GTA 7.
yes. But with all of that said, let's go and get ready for our post show. As some reminders, we will be back next week with Daggerheart until Winter's End, I believe session 14, question mark. And so we'll be jumping with that. Our players have just fought definitely not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. How dare you? There were two
Absolutely
orange
not.
ones.
They're legally distinct.
Yes. And they took out the second of these three seemingly big bads that have been being built up as they're trying to cause shenanigans to occur. And so we'll be picking up at the end, or having with them just having finished that battle, and then we'll continue their quest across Avathia. And then as a reminder, you can find us around the internet as One Geek 411. Join that Discord server. Check us out on Twitch and YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, all of that kind of stuff as pertinent to the platform. Let us know what you have been playing. If it is especially one of these three games, being Slay the Spire, Marathon, or Pocopia, definitely let us know what you think of those. And then let us know what you've been like reading, watching, all of that kind of stuff. We haven't talked books today, but I am keeping my audiobook journey going. And so I think I'm 12 books down so far this year. And so I'm on 13.
Nice.
And so, and then, then you can find us on our personal social media. Mine is Humar Whittle.
Mine is I am not prepared with an I am the prepared.
And it's been a great week.
Go outside.
Don't drastically overestimate the meta of a tournament and then get wrecked in the first two rounds, causing you to snowball and then not to do well in the tournament. Bye.
That too.